This is the way you heard it's got groove. Who is got me there?
Your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Grease got me.
Long Talk Radio.
Everything is gonna be all right. Everything is gonna be be all right. Everything is gonna be everything is gonna be okay.
Your show now, press 1. To hear.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show,
Oh,
we're
shit.
reconnecting you now.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking, never mind, man. Y'all don't even want to know what I'm thinking. It's the daily, go get up. It's a show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing. Take it on fast lane, no coasting. And everything is gonna be all right. We do this thing on a Wednesday night. Hump day. How y'all feeling, yo? I say that everything is gonna be all right. It's okay. I didn't know we was on yet. I swear to God, I didn't. That's what I'm looking like. Wait a minute. Where's the part where I put? Don't worry about nothing now. You know what I mean? Y'all was almost cutting into. Yo, let's get it popping. We are talking about speaking above your conditioning. Speaking above your conditioning. Now, what I mean by that is this. We all grew up in a place. We grew up in a household. We grew up on a block. We grew up around the way in a neighborhood. And you'll notice that a lot of people from where you grew up at think a lot of the same ways. We had a culture. Now, a lot of people don't believe that black people have a real definitive culture. And there's an argument that says that we don't, but there's also many arguments that say that we do. But one thing is for sure that you cannot deny about American black people is that we have definitely been conditioned. A lot of times our conditioning hasn't been in a positive direction, but we have definitely been taught to think a certain type of way, act a certain kind of way, be a certain kind of way, strive for a certain kind of thing. And when some of us go out of or think outside of the box of what we have been conditioned to think, the way that we've been taught to feel, and the places we've been taught to go, sometimes it can have some of us getting looked at all crazy. So we're going to take a look at that tonight. Talking above your conditioning. What if you're black, but you don't eat no soul food and you don't really believe in being rude when a person comes up to you and tries to disrespect? What if you handle that in a different kind of way? You connect to a different kind of source, and they're going to look at you kind of funny, of course. Word. It's sort of like being a black person and you tell them that you don't like something like potato salad. Like, I don't like potato salad. I don't eat deviled eggs. Or I don't like fried chicken. Sure, those are things we talk about having our black card revoked about. But I'm talking about when we start going against the grain of the way that we have been taught to think. And that's whether you're black, white, Hispanic, or whatever. More than likely, starting with your parents, ending with your teachers, your employers and things like that, you have been taught how to think, and being taught how to think will take you from one place to another, one place here, then get you to another place there. It's sort of like a method. Well, it is a method. But what happens when you stop accepting the method? What happens? What happens when you stop believing or accepting that you have to do things a certain type of way in order to get a certain type of thing. What happens when you start thinking outside the box? What happens when you start talking outside of the way that you've been taught to talk, think, feel, do, act, and all that kind of stuff? Let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. Was this your daily, the Daily Go Getimism Show? We do this every single day. Every day it rains. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. Every day it rains. And the DG will do the same. I am your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the. And if you can't say Omar with the, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show, all up in your area. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should also. We are about to get this thing popping. We're talking about speaking above your conditioning. Speaking above your conditioning. You know, the ways that you've been taught to think. The ways that you've been taught of how to do things. What happens when you no longer accept those things, or when you've learned a little bit more about how to add on to those things, and you're talking to people who are more traditional in their approach to how to do whatever it is that y'all doing? For example, and here's an easy one. Many of us have been conditioned to go to school, be respectful, either go to the army or go to college, get a job, live the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Live happily ever after, whatever. You know what happens when you decide to become that person that doesn't want to follow that blueprint in your family. Let's say you come from a family, let's say a good family, come from a bunch of not only high school graduates, but college graduates. Not just college graduates, but college graduates who were involved in the whole university process. You know, join Greek fraternities and all of that kind of stuff, fraternities and sororities and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, your grandparents, they went to high school, they graduated high school, they graduated from college. While they were in college, they were AKAs, A5 A's, Phi Beta Sigmas, Sigma Gamma Rho Deltas, Theta Sigmas, Omega Psi Phi Kappa Alpha Psi, the Zeta Phi Betas. Yeah. Non-Hellenic councils, whatever, you know, that's black Greek fraternities. So not only did they go to college, but they are expecting you to go to college, and not just go to college, but expecting you to pledge a sorority or fraternity or whatever, and basically get a job from there, secure your future, play it safe in this world. And your parents may have been successful. Your grandparents were successful. Your parents were successful. They had no problems raising you, providing for you, and building a good life for you. But here you come along like, I'm not going to college. I'm barely getting through high school, but it looks like I'm going to make it through that. But right after college, right after high school, I'm about to take my chances on this music career, or I'm about to do this whole starving artistry thing, or I'm about to throw a backpack on my back and go to Europe, Asia, Africa, and tour the world and I don't know, feed the hungry, or try to develop some type of governmental system overseas. That's what I'm going to do. Your parents looking at you like, are you out of your damn mind? Boy, you like you said, you are a boy or girl, you are barely graduating high school. And you are on our dime. So if you think we're going to give you a bunch of money so you can grab a backpack, get on a plane, and go overseas to find yourself, you must be crazy. Okay. What if you were determined to do it? What if you had already researched it? What if you already researched it? You found out exactly where you wanted to go, and you're on your way there. You have people waiting for you there. You've been connecting with them over the internet and whatever. You are ready to start this thing. You're passionate about it. You believe in it, and not only that, but through your research, you have found all of the good things about your decision that you're about to make as an adult, 18 years of age. 18 years of age, you are ready to make this move, and you're going to do it, whether your parents pay for it or not. But you're talking about how American society has done you dirty, and you're looking for something better out there. And you know that there's something better than these suburbs that you grew up under, or these projects that you grew up in, or these city streets, whatever the case may be, metropolitan city that you grew up in, whatever. You feel like there's something better out there, and you're speaking on it. You're not ashamed or afraid to talk about this new way of living and thinking and feeling and doing that you are ready to embark upon. Your friends, the people that you grew up with, looking at you like you're crazy. Classmates looking at you like you're crazy. Parents looking at you like you're crazy. Cousins looking at you crazy. You know, if you can't find a cousin to co-sign the shit that you about to do, you know that you are on some other whole other mother. You know it. So that may not have any effect on your stance to make your decision that you have made and that you're going to stick by. But you're speaking above your conditioning. You've been conditioned to play it safe as a young black man or woman. You've been taught, be respectful to your elders. You don't have a problem with that. Listen to the voice of wisdom. You don't even have a problem with that. You've just chosen other voices of elderly wisdom to listen to. Your parents don't know nothing about this. Your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, whatever, they don't know nothing about what you done got yourself into. Everybody thinking that you on drugs. Yeah, you do smoke too much weed. But maybe they have written all of your ideas and your feelings and thoughts off as smoking too much weed. And it's possible that you might be on the cusp of having a little substance abuse problem. But that's not the point. The point is that you're talking differently. You're talking differently, doing differently than people did before. And so you're making them think differently than they thought before. And it's making them uncomfortable because they are unsure about what's going to happen with you. And they have concerns about it. And you all on your soapbox, like, I don't know what y'all worried about. I'm about to do this. And I'll talk to y'all when I get back, because when I get back, I got gifts for everybody. Life-giving gifts, though. Not no souvenirs. Although I might bring you some rocks. All right. Speaking above your conditioning. That's one way. What's going on, Carol Chamberlain, my friend, mi favorita? Glad to see you always. And Stacey White, thanks for coming on through tonight. Yes, that's right. And T. Carey Wright, morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Ja Biggs, what's going on, kid? I'm glad you came on through. Yeah, I'm really glad you did. Speaking of my man, Ja Biggs speaks above his conditioning on a regular basis. Where a large percentage, a greater percentage of society believe that monogamy is the way, especially in American society. So when somebody comes along and says, no, I think polygamy is really the way, especially for our people, polygamy will work for us, where monogamy You've seen all of the failures associated with that. I don't even know if monogamy is winning in the top 10%. It seems to have at least a 90, at the very least, an 85% fail rate. When you really start thinking about unchallenged, unbroken monogamy, how many people can you say that have not broken their monogamous vows or promises to each other? Not even once. It starts to get a little dicey. We got to start looking at our parents sideways like, well, they still together, but I got brothers and sisters that don't have my last name. And they younger than me. So when people start talking about polygamy and the benefits of polygamy, they are absolutely speaking above their conditioning. Absolutely speaking above their conditioning. Everything that you've ever watched on TV and in the movies suggests that you should strive, even struggle for monogamy. So you coming in here talking about polygamy or polyamory. Yep. And people looking at you like, well, you just want to cheat or you just want to get a bunch of different ass. Well, let's just say you did. But you're just going to ignore the community benefits of what this polygamous relationship entails. You're just going to ignore how the children will always get everything that they need, physically, emotionally, financially, and everything else. You're just going to ignore the fact that now these women, or however it's set up, will never have to worry about you cheating because everything is in house and it's agreed upon. And now we've gotten past all of the jealousy and all of the little messy stuff that comes along with monogamy. But one thing about polygamists, one thing about atheists, they gotta come with facts. And they do. That's the thing. And then you recognize how people don't care about facts over feelings. They care about feelings over facts. When they're winning an argument, though, they'll always tell you that, no, this is all about facts. It's facts over feelings. Facts over facts over feelings. But the feelings start to kick in and start to dominate the conversation and all of the feelings. It's the flavor of the day, baby. So yeah, in order to be an atheist, because most of us are conditioned to believe that there's God, there's not only a God, but one God, one monotheistic body that thinks, that knows exactly what we do, see, hear, how we think, and controls everything in the universe: the sun, the moon, the stars, the galaxy, the Milky Way, black hole, everything. I believe it too. That's my conditioning. But when I listen to atheists talk, I'm like, you can't front. You got valid points. And the thing about your points is that you prove them. You can prove them. I have to believe in God based on what I think or how I feel. I'm not saying that there's no evidence of a God, but there's definitely evidence of the conditioning about God that I have received over my lifetime. So if I start speaking outside of that, and you don't even have to be an atheist to speak outside of your conditioning. You can be a rogue Christian or rogue Muslim. For example, I'm a Muslim. I follow Islam. I'm not a Muslim in that I obey the will of Allah, because number one, I don't know what Allah wants from me. Number one. Number two, I'm not down to pray 5 times a day. I'm not. And I'm not down to wear those. I'm not down to dress like they do. And I'm not going to. Never have. Never even thought about it. And won't. Not doing that. Not wearing my pants above my ankles and wearing and looking like I'm over there in Saudi Arabia somewhere when I'm in the United States. I ain't got to dress. That. And another thing, they say that in Islam you have to learn Arabic. You have to learn the Arabic language in order to study Islam properly. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me that God made the universe, the sun, the moon, the stars that are on our flag? He created all people, all animals, all beings, all living things in this world, but you can only speak to him through Arabic? And Arabic is not the dominant language in the world? That makes sense to you? Speaking above your conditioning. People looking at you like, traditionalists looking at you like your head spins all the way around like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. Not only that, but they're saying that you ain't no real Muslim, you ain't no real Christian. You asking all the wrong questions. Why I gotta do this? Why I gotta do that? Why I gotta give my money? Why I gotta get on my knees? How come I can't be heard by the G-O-D when I'm on my 2 feet? Why? You ever? I mean, honestly, just getting to the buck. You ever think about that? Why can't you pray standing up, right? And what they tell you? Because when you get on your knees, you're in a submissive position. And in order to speak to God, you have to submit. You submit by default, though, don't you? You telling me that he'll only listen to you when you're on your knees? Well, let me ask you this. If he'll only listen to you on your knees, if that's what you're saying, so does he only see you and recognize you when you're on your knees? If you need help out there somewhere in the world where you're unable to get on your knees, does he answer your prayers? Thinking outside of your conditioning. Thinking outside of your conditioning. It can get you in a lot of arguments. It can get you in some trouble. It can get you ostracized. It can get people looking at you like, oh, this MF. And I'm not talking about the off the wall thinking outside of their conditioning people. I'm not talking about no Kanye West. No, I'm not talking about people like that. I'm talking about people whose mental state is still normal, still healthy, but they just have learned a reason and have ways to be rebellious, but in a positive way, positively rebellious. Jabig says. But a cousin did come back around and tell me I was right, and I never expected it. I hear that. Jabig says, bro, how you know my life? Man, you know how I go. He said, look at Will and Jada. Yeah, look at him. Will follows his conditioning. As far as I'm concerned, he definitely follows his conditioning. He played it safe his whole career. And what happens when he went off the cuff? Slapped his way into a bunch of trouble. Jabig says, big facts, bro. There's way more than sex that goes into polygamy. Yeah, that's right. It ain't hard to tell. But when we talk about conditioning, what we're talking about is people who have been conditioned to think that anytime you have more than one of anything, then you are rogue. You are wild. You are unstructured. You are unorganized. Oh, you got 2 women, you got 3 women living in the same house. This ain't nothing but a freak show. Totally ignoring the fact that you got to go out and make a living enough to be able to provide for those 2. They have to go out. They may have to go out and work or whatever, or take care of the children. Everybody has a job. Everybody has a role. That's people think polygamy is just a bunch of boning, and it's not. And I'm not saying that I participate in it, but I can see the logic in it. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Make sure that y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Get Amism Show. We're talking about speaking above your conditioning. What happens when you start speaking higher than what you have learned? Speaking higher than what you have been taught. When you decide to come to that fork in the road in your conditioning, and you decided not to take either one of those 2 roads, but forge ahead a third one. And you talking about it. You might even be being about it. Speaking above your conditioning. In the Black community, a lot of us are conditioned to follow the Democratic Party. I don't see anything wrong with following the Democratic Party. But what happens with some of us who decide, no, I think the Republicans have a better plan for us. We start looking at them like. Now, granted, a lot of our folks who speak on the Republican side take it to a place where they're ready to sell us out. The problem is too many of them should I say on the Democratic side, too many of our Black folks on the Democratic side are too busy filtering out our struggle, mixing it in with everybody else's struggle. So they're diluting our needs and ensuring that our needs never get met or fulfilled. But we don't like to talk about that because we supposed to be Democrat all the way, Democrat all the way, Democrat all the way. I ain't gonna front. I can't be no Republican. There was a time when I was registered as a Republican. And I went to all of the, I ain't gonna say all of them, but I went to a lot of their local functions in the city of Philadelphia for years. Because my dad was on that Republican shit. And I was like, so we going to their clam bakes, we going to their fundraisers and all that kind of stuff. And I got a good look at this shit. And I was like, well, look at this. Wasn't a whole lot of Black people there. There were the Black people who were there, and they were at every single function. And their thought process behind it was that since we're a small community, there will always be enough funds and enough resources to give us what we want because we're the minority. The problem is those Republican candidates that ran for office didn't win. We live in a democratic city. Republicans didn't win. They didn't win a whole lot of elections. They won some, but very few. But I switched back. Where actually I only registered as a Republican at my dad's urging because they were supposed to do some favors for us. And I have to admit, they did used to do them, but they didn't do what we needed them to do. And once, with me, once I sign up for something and I'm being told that I'm going to get something, once I don't get it, listen, only came here for this. I understand I understand you feel some kind of way that I only came for this, but I told you I was only coming for that. Now, if I came here if I came here for the surf and turf and y'all not serving no surf and turf, I'm out of here. So went back to the Democratic Party, registered back as a Democrat. And then I realized, like, both parties are the same. They really are. They do the same thing. They make the same type of promises. They make the same type of moves. It's all about money. It's not about the people at all. So, you know, we was talking about facts over feelings before. After a while, you got to go back to your feelings, because the facts are politics is about money, not about people. So if that's too heavy for you, then you got to go back with your feelings. Which party makes you feel better? About you or yours? Speaking above your conditioning. Like I said, black people, for the most part, have been conditioned to be Democrats over the last 50, 60 years. And when one of us or some of us go against being a Democrat and we declare ourselves Republicans, everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody, but so many of us are looking at that person like, oh boy, sell out Oreo, sell out Oreo, sell out Oreo. And unfortunately, they fit that bill. They foster that stereotype and they confirm it. Candace Owens, Kanye West, Clarence Thomas. Who else, y'all? Even Herschel Walker. There are other black folks. Ice Cube, maybe. I don't know. Bottom line is, my man Freedom and Justice now, he says, I know about being conditioned. We all do, my brother. And I know you holding your head, and I know you will continue to do so. And I know that as you continue to do so, you're building your knowledge base, you're building your networking base, and things are going to turn out well for you, one way or another. I don't care if you max out, you're still going to have way more coming out than a whole lot of people ever did, regardless of whether they did longer bids than you or not. I want you to know I'm proud of you too. You know, I'll never forget the first time you told me about what your situation was, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So it was very impressive and inspirational. Jabig says, babysitter daycare, that's $1,900 every 2 weeks or a week could be saved. That's just one. Oh, you talking about the benefits to polygamy? Yeah. There's absolutely a financial benefit to it. That's undeniable. Yeah. So there's a lot that comes along with speaking above your conditioning, especially for our people. I'm telling you, it gets on my nerves sometimes. Sometimes it's funny, but a lot of times it's not funny to me. You know, it's like, as soon as you start talking against fried chicken, twerking of I don't know, long eyelashes, fat asses, and all. As soon as you start talking about anything different, I mean, think. You know what? Look at Bill Cosby. Any facet of Bill Cosby. People got mad. Black people got so mad at Bill Cosby for talking bad about them. Bill Cosby was very image conscious. For all his faults, for all his wrongdoings or whatever, however you look at him, he was very image conscious. He showed that in the Cosby Show. He wanted the portrayal of the black family to be a certain type of way. He wanted to show the whole world that we are more than living in the projects, roaches, hog maws, pig feet, collard greens, and turkey. Well, you put the hog maws in the green, but nonetheless, he wanted to show that we're more than that. We do have a mother and a father in the home. We do raise our children. We do send them to school. We do make sure that they're respectful. We do make sure that they do the right things. We do carry on generational good things. We do. Stop making us look crazy. Like all we can do is dance and cuss people out and they got a black man coming now. Oh yeah, oh my God, it's about to go down. I swear, if cussing somebody out put money in our pocket, black people would be the number one. We would be number one. White people wouldn't be able to touch us. But unfortunately, cussing people out gets us incarcerated, gets us terminated from our jobs, gets us ostracized. I put up a post on my page today, and it said, nothing makes you think about your decisions more than having to pay for them. When you have to pay for the decisions that you make, that's when you start thinking about whether you should do it or not. Because you might not have enough money to cover the cost. Might not have enough money that day to cover the cost of the decisions that you're about to make. So you might have to really take into serious consideration how far you're going to go with something. Job Big says basically the South. Yeah. Put the pork ribs on the grill, baby. Put the pork ribs on the grill. I ain't saying nothing wrong. There's anything wrong with eating pork. If that's what you do. I haven't eaten pork voluntarily since 1989. That's my choice. Voluntarily. I have to say voluntarily because I've had it snuck in on me a few times for sure. Now I ain't never ate it when I knew that was the case. It is what it is. It's like monogamy. It's hard to somebody gonna hit you with the pork. Speaking above your conditioning. Going against the traditional way, the tried and true method, finding another way to get around, to get through it, get to it, get by it. Freedom and Justice Now says that post is going in a piece. In a piece I'm working on. Can you afford to do what you want? Think about the rent. Think about the cost, without a doubt. He also, Jabez says,
seconds.
I just know how it is both ways and how y'all think upstate. Yeah, well, you know, we have a certain conditioning up here, up north, eastern seaboard. Yeah, we're taught to think a certain type of way. Listen, man, I come from Philly. I come from a city
60
where I've
seconds.
been told that if I wear these types of shoes, these Wallabies, if I wear these, then I must be from New York. I can't even wear a pair of shoes. You know how many times I've been in New York and I never saw nobody wearing no Wallabies? I don't see anywhere on the Clark's website where it says New York's finest shoe. But I come from a city that expects you to talk a certain kind of way, act a certain type of way. And I'm like, am I able to
10
leave?
seconds.
Am I able to leave this city and go somewhere else and learn something new and different? Maybe even something that might help us here? Yeah, but just remember you from here and not there. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. So I get the conditioning, but so many people embrace the conditioning. And so many times the conditioning for us and our people is negative. Very, very negative. And we got to deal with that. Negative conditioning. Negative conditioning. Are you ready? Are you ready? Josh says, I got siblings in Jersey and Philly. Mm-hmm. 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 Jersey. The difference between South, Central, and North Jersey is a crazy thing. That little state has a lot of different pockets in it. A lot of different ways in Jersey. You know, for Philly, we don't even consider the rest of Pennsylvania to exist. Like, hold on. I mean, how many people live in the state of Pennsylvania? Hold on. Let's do this real quick. How many people live in the state of Pennsylvania?
The population of Pennsylvania was 12.81 million in 2018.
Okay. So, so it says here in 2020, it was 13.01 million people living in Pennsylvania. Now, I think Philadelphia only has about 1.4, 1.5. Oh, let me see how many people live in Philly. You got 13 million in the whole state. All right. How many people live in Philadelphia?
The population of Philadelphia was 1.6 million in 2020.
Oh, we was down to like 1.4 a little while ago. So some people must have moved here. All right. So it used to be 2 million people, 2 million plus years ago when we were the fourth largest city. So, okay. For us to have 1.6 million, we figured we trumped that whole 13, that other 12.4 million. I'm sorry, 11.4 million. Like they don't matter. They don't matter. We live in Philly. You can have Pennsylvania. They don't count. And you'll see that when it comes time for an election, a state election. The state goes how Philly says it is going to go. If we don't come out and vote, whatever candidate was counting on this state is going to lose. If we come out and vote in force, they're going to win. And that's an absolute too. That's exactly how it works. Straight Democrat though. So when people from the Philadelphia area do not vote, Republicans win. When people from the Philadelphia area vote, Democrats win 100% of the time. It's crazy. We run this. It don't matter what they do over in Pittsburgh. It certainly don't matter what they do in Harrisburg. Pittsburgh is the west side. Harrisburg is central. Philadelphia is on the east side. Conditioning. I definitely come from a place where they expect you to be like everybody else that's already here is like, whether that's good or whether that's bad. So a person like me that's from here be getting looked at all the time like I'm not from here. Like, you from New York? All right. We don't even have a New York Avenue in the city. I've never lived anywhere except for here. For what it's worth. All right. We got some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious April 13th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Kendra Edwards. Kendra. Excuse me. And also Charmaine Letman, turning 54 years old today. And Gregory McIntyre, no relation. But what up, cuz? Turning 59 years old today. And also Dorothy Tootie, turning 57 years old today. And Jay Warren, turning 41 years old today. And Khalid X. Henry, turning 28 years old today. And also, last but not least, my man Antonio Goodman. Happy birthday to you, my brother. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious April 13th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. I rock out, rock on into the damn, the rock out, rock on into the damn, rock out, rock on into the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen, you talking above your conditioning, and they looking at and they wishing that you would shut your mouth up, stop tearing up stuff, stop making people think that life's so tough, stop making them think outside the box, make sure that they don't keep their thoughts on lock. They want to be right where they think it's safe, and you know that they ain't safe there. You're trying to get them clear away from there, and they ain't listening. They looking at you real crazy and trying to diss you, but it's gonna be all right. You know you learned a lot. You know your game is tight, and you know that it's gonna be okay, but one day, but not today. They got a lot to learn, and you're gonna make sure you earn your stripes, and everything is gonna be all right. You the type that's gonna keep going, keep the ball rolling, make sure that nobody, cornballs, keep controlling the way that you think. You ain't no sheep. Yo, you lay your head down, Lord, to keep you in good spirits. Yo, most of the people around here ain't trying to hear it though. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. You know how it go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh man, you just attempted to call in? Oh no. Oh, because you can't call in after the the little announcement, the 90-second, but it's all good. It's all love, baby. We be back tomorrow, and we're always here when you need us. So, all right, y'all. Let me get on out of here. Blog Talk, I'm going to get you out of here. I want to thank y'all. Let's make that clear. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Holla.